So, having done the having calculated the actual returns and the distributions to the limited partners, we can now reference the distribution to the limited partners here, and then to the general partners is going to be equal to whatever was distributed to the limited partners, and then we divide it by the contributions to them, reference of cell with F4, and then we multiply that by the contributions. We will multiply that by the rate of returns that I would expect to go to the general partners as a result of this hurdle rate that has been reached. So we will also reference the cell. So to calculate the total contribution, it's going to be the sum of those two. We can take all of this to the rest of our waterfall, fill it right with Ctrl R. So now to calculate the amount remaining to be distributed, it's just going to be equal to whatever the total cash flow we had at the beginning of this distribution to tier 1, and then we deduct the total distribution that was made at a time. We can take this all the way to the right and fill it with Ctrl R. As you can see, this is the total amount that will be available to distribute in tier 2. So we are now ready to determine the distributions to the limited partners in this tier 2. So to begin, we know that our opening balance is going to be our prior period's closing balance, so it's a cost code calculation. And then for the injections, it's going to be it's always going to be the negative of whatever the contribution amount was for the limited partners here. And then for the accrued returns, it's going to be equal to the opening balance. We multiply that by 1 plus the hurdle rate of returns that we expect this project to reach. We first start with F4, close the bracket, and then we raise that to the power of 6 divided by 12, since we expect these payments to be done twice a year. We close the bracket, and then we subtract 1, because this is a compound growth formula. We close the bracket, and then we go back to make sure that we have another bracket open to make sure we're doing it right, and then we can press enter. This is the accrued returns for this tier 2 for the limited partners. We close the bracket, I will press enter. We know that they're going to be paid after this hurdle rate is reached. So to account for the limited partners distribution in tier 1, we will just reference the distribution that was made in tier 1. We have it right there. Also, we can also reference the percent of distribution that was made, and also for the tier 2, we know that it's gonna be equal to this 85%. So this disproportional returns, as they go down this tier, the limited partners, they get lesser of the contribution amount, because they bear the lesser risk. So as a result, the general partners get compensated by the disproportional returns. So now we are ready to determine the distribution in tier 2 for the limited partner. So it's going to be equal to if, in bracket, there is cash available. It means if this cell is greater than 0, then what we want is to take the minimum of this amount, 85%, to be distributed to the limited partners. We multiply it by that cash that will be available if there was a positive cash flow, or the opening balance plus the injections plus the accrued returns, and then we deduct the limited partner distributions. Close the bracket, otherwise 0, close the bracket, we'll press enter. So our closing balance in this case is going to be equal to the opening balance plus the injections plus the accrued returns, and then we deduct the distribution in tier 1, deduct the distributions in tier 2. Press to close the bracket and we'll press enter. We can take all of this to the right to the end of the projected period, and we fill it all the way right. And if we scroll, we can see that it is exactly what we expect. So as we can see that they get payoff when that hurdle rate of 15% is reached. And as you can see, if you sum all of these, it's equal to the total distribution at this time year. So they get paid off both the accrued returns and whatever was left at the time. So this is exactly what happens in a joint venture partnership. So this is what we are seeing here. So when this returns is reached, and then we know that we have to distribute that amount on and above this return disproportionately. So in the next video, we're going to be simulating, or we're going to be calculating the distribution to the general partners, and we'll reference the distribution to the limited partners as well.